All right, ladies. So let's talk about consciousness. By the way, for those who don't know, this is the dating channel for women that focuses on spirituality and the dark side of attraction. All right, I'll teach us some dark tactics. You know, some people don't like it, but so let's talk about consciousness, because this is actually one of my favorite subjects to talk about, and it's one of those subjects that's extremely profound and will enable you to actually let go of a lot of insecurities and a lot of neediness that everyone harbors because of living the experience, because of living in the world that we live in. All right, so consciousness is what creates and witnesses the world that we live in. Just like a dream, consciousness expresses itself through the objects that it molds to. In our case, it's our faculties. In other animals, it might be infrared vision. It might be being able to see with light. See with our ears. But consciousness doesn't become things don't become conscious, but consciousness is what encompasses everything. You see? So if you suddenly have the ability to see in the dark, consciousness will express itself through that. But consciousness just needs a faculties. You see? And that's why all of our perceptions are made out of the one thing that encompasses all things, which is consciousness. All of our perceptions are made out of consciousness. If the faculties are different, then consciousness would express itself differently. But there are no objects to express itself. It doesn't know its unlimited ability. Just because there are no objects for consciousness to express itself doesn't mean that it's not there. But the potential of consciousness of expressing itself is everywhere in the universe. You see, and that's the fascinating part, that it doesn't matter where you are in the observable and the unobservable universe. Consciousness is everywhere. Consciousness is the potential for anything to arise. Consciousness is what allows sounds to be similar to silence. Consciousness is a silence, and the objects that it molds into are the sound. You see, consciousness is the source of all things. Consciousness is a space, and the objects of our perceptions is the objects that arise from the space. All right, so similar to deep sleep, there is nothingness, but nothingness then becomes our faculties. So it's deep sleep, right? You're in deep motherfucking sleep, but then suddenly you have a dream. You see, consciousness. You see, there's nothingness, but the nothingness then becomes consciousness. You're in a deep sleep, there's nothing, and then suddenly consciousness arises. It doesn't mean that it wasn't there, but it just means that it's expressing itself to the different faculties. Suddenly you see things in your dreams, you feel things in your dreams. It's almost like you have your senses, but you're not experiencing it in your body. But the one thing that's creating all of your senses is consciousness, because it's expressing itself through the faculties. You see? So it's like that Pokemon that changes into everything. It's called Ditto. Yeah, Ditto. Ditto's a Pokemon that it changes into almost anything. So consciousness, as long as the faculties are there, will express itself. So this is the crazy thing, is that you could have easily been born a little microorganism. You could have easily been born as a dog, and that would have still be you. It would not be any lesser than you. It's just that consciousness it just happens to express itself as a dog, or consciousness just happens to express itself as a human being, and we are lucky to be humans. But just because a dog is a dog doesn't mean that it's any different from you, because it's made out of the same thing. If that dog suddenly became a human, it's a fucking human. But it's in its essence, it hasn't lost its true essence, which is the consciousness itself. I was looking through it. So it's not just being expressed. When you wake up, the mind remembers the events as nothingness, similar to eternity, but it can't grasp it. It's ephemeral. Just because there's no proof in terms of memory doesn't mean it's non-existence. You see, when you're in deep sleep, you don't remember because you don't remember seeing things, but you were there. You sense it. You see, so just because you don't have a memory, which is an object, doesn't prove its non-existence. Consciousness doesn't change according to the states. It stays as is. It's just being expressed. All sensations are made out of the same stuff and appear in the same space. Consciousness is the fabric of the universe. Peace is in everything. That's why space and silence brings you into the present, because if you notice it, it aligns you to it. You see what I'm saying? So in everything, in all the essence of the universe is peace, because everything comes from consciousness. Yes, it looks like it's turmoil, but at the core of all things is peace. You see? So So what's the source of consciousness? So in the equivalency of our limited mind, the source of consciousness is the emptiness. So it could be silence, because that's where sound arises. Sound arises from silence. It could be space. Objects arise from space. Without space, then nothing could be. Space is expanding into eternity. Space is the present moment. You see, that's why okay, as that is a subject, but you know how there is something that goes faster than the speed of light. People forget that in that space, because space is expanding. It's just that nothing could go through space faster than the speed of light. Through space, nothing goes faster, but space itself is expanding. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, so space consciousness is a fabric of the universe. So that's why if you focus on space, or if you focus on silence, you instantly become present. You see? So for example, like, notice the silence in the room right now. Listen to the silence in the room. As soon as you focus on the silence, you instantly become more present. You see what I'm saying? Or notice the space in the room. Rather than looking at me, notice the space in the room. As soon as you become aware of the space in the room, you become more present. You see, and so space and silence, by just focusing on those things, you become more present, because your consciousness becomes more alert. You become more alert. You become more here now. You see? So pieces and everything. Just because the object disappears doesn't mean that experience, consciousness, space is gone. All right? It's there ready to appear when the potential is there. It's animated with power. The more you experience yourself as me, when consciousness mistakes itself for an object, superimpose walls in the space. You see, when you say that's me, when you say this concept is me, it's like you're superimposing walls on you. Like, you might think this is a space in my room, but in reality, these are just superimposed space. Space is unlimited. It may look is limited because you're composing, you're putting yourself into little walls, into a mental concept. But in reality, the space that we live in is unlimited. It just looks like it's limited. That's how people limit themselves with the self-imposed concept that they have of themselves, because they choose to pick a thought. This is me. I am the victim. But they choose to neglect certain thoughts. So you just compartmentalizing yourself. But in reality, you're none of those things. You're a lot bigger. You're a lot stronger. You're a lot more. You are unlimited. But you're limiting yourself because the mind. That's how the way it works. So every experience will become a threat, and you rebel against yourself. You will not see the beauty in life. You see, the more, because you're saying to yourself, this is me, the concept, this is all a mental label, and then there's you, the world, mental label. It doesn't mean it's real. You're saying that this is me. This is me. The body that I have is me. So suddenly you start aging, you feel bad. Suddenly you see the world and you see it as an outside entity. It's dangerous. There's fear. You see, so suddenly you start saying there's me, and then what? There's the world. There's no unity in that. So as a result of it, rather than seeing peace, which is the essence of consciousness, you see enemies. You see fear. You can't see the beauty in life anymore because you're constantly being threatened by mind-made illusion. So you can't see the beauty in things. So you can't become present. You see? So you might see two objects, right? So, and this is the thing, is that the outside world in reality is one with you. You just cannot see it because of this mental concept that you have of me. See, so you might think that there's you and then there's the world, but let me show you this. You might see two objects, you and another object, and you might touch it, and you'll realize that it's not two experiences, but it's one. It's one experience. It's not. I'm not just. See. Okay, I'm touching my phone, right? It might seem like I'm touching an outside phone. I close my eyes and suddenly it's not two sensations, it's one sensation. And it's all happening in the space of consciousness. It doesn't happen outside my space of consciousness. I see this and it looks like it's on the outside, but in consciousness there's zero distance because it's happening in the same space that I'm aware of my own essence, that I'm aware of what my thoughts are. It all happens in the same space of consciousness. You see what I'm saying? So it looks like there's an outside world, but everything is being self-generated by my own consciousness. But the problem is that you mistake yourself for the object, the one thing that would naturally erode. And that's why you fear things. That's why you fear the world. That's why you fear death. Because you think once you're gone, who you are is gone, but your true essence still stays there. So experience is in all things. So if you might think that everything's different, but the truth is that everything that happens is just one experience. It's not two different experiences. It's one experience. It's a continual flow of experience. You go into deep sleep. Boom, you're there. There is your essence. You go into your dream. Boom, that's still the same experience. You wake up. Boom, and you're still in the same experience. Consciousness is what allows everything to be. You see? And you might think that there's one moment here and one moment there, but the truth is that the time you experience is never experienced. It's only a concept. Time is only a concept. It's practical, but not real. It's always now. Now is where all things happen. When you think of the future, it comes in the now. When you think of the past, it happened in the now. But the future never comes because it'll come in the form of the present moment. You see? And just to let you know, is that experience, the essence, the consciousness is needed to have all of your senses. But experience doesn't need any senses. It's always there. You see, you could be in deep sleep and that's all there is. That's all you're experiencing, deep sleep. Suddenly your senses arise. You might see a thought, you might see an image, and there's your senses. But experience has always been there. And that's the problem, is that people mistake who they are for the objects. So how can you use this knowledge? You can use this knowledge to realize that you are not as limited as you think you are. You got to expand your level of awareness and become aware of not just your thoughts, but the senses, the pure senses of your experience. You want to go into the raw experience of living. But a lot of people feel a lot of lack. A lot of people feel a lot of emptiness in the heart. And when you lack, you try to fill it up with an object. Don't you fucking know that the emptiness, the empty space that you see is full of power? Literally, go look up quantum physics. That's the thing that's called dark matter. That things are going in and out of existence. That everything is alive. Even the space itself is alive because it's potential for there to be things. Everything's alive. The space itself is expanding. So when you feel a lack, you try to fill it up with an object, a thought form. This will make me happy. That will make me happy. Those are all objects, right? At the level of the mind, it's done. So with consciousness, what we do is to go into the emotion. We feel lack, see it clearly without judgment or desire to change it. What we will see is that our own consciousness reflects back on each other. We won't see the labels, but the true indestructible essence of the experience. You're not going to feel or experience the label, bad, I feel lack, I feel this. You're going to experience the raw sensation. They become purely bodily sensations when you experience the raw sensation of lack. The point is to stay close to the raw experience of your senses and not to the mental concepts and the projections that filter reality to an unrecognizable phenomenon. The point is to see it for what it is. See the sensation 100% fully. You feel angry? Don't go into the thought. Go into the sensations. Your body's reaction to the experience of anger. If we lose sight, what tends to arise is separation between objects and the observer. There is me and there's the object. And then suddenly you're breaking reality into a multiplicity. You're not saying that reality is all one. You're saying there's me and then there's the world. And then there's the enemy. I have to fight. I have to defend myself. You constantly walk around defensive. You constantly walk around thinking that death is in the corner. So if I die, there goes who I am. Or somebody's gonna insult me, and as a result, it's gonna change who I am. It's gonna change my sense of self. But when you walk around at the razor edges of the present moment, experiencing the raw experience or whatever it is that's in front of you, you're gonna be able to stay close to the present. You're not gonna allow time to consume your attention. You're going to be in the experience. So when you're talking to someone, you're not in your thoughts. You're in the experience of living. You're experiencing your senses. You feel your body fully. You notice your breath. You notice the way your body feels. You notice the way your clothes feel on you. You notice the way your hat feels on you. And you just feel the whole sensation. And most people cannot do that because they're so entangled in their mind-made thoughts that they can't escape it. But little do you know that the only thing you need to do is to either listen to the silence of the room, notice the space in your room, or notice and feel the pure physical sensation of your experience. That could be feeling an object in your awareness, noticing the breath, noticing the sounds, noticing your body, noticing your hat, noticing your shirt, just noticing anything that's raw experience, not a mental label or a future projection, because that's what we focus more on. Anyways, this is just a little me practicing on the book that I'm writing, and this is some of the notes that I'm taking. And again, this isn't the I when I look back at it, it's gonna be unclear. I just made this video because I just wanted to put something out there for you guys to enjoy. I love talking about consciousness. Consciousness is one of my favorite subjects to talk about. It's not. I know this is not gonna be as clear as I want it to be, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you guys have any questions, just put it in the link below. If you guys want one-on-one coaching, just go to mindfulattraction.org/in-the-game coaching. You guys will be able to check it out right there. Anyways, take care and have a good day.